Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 Sharma.
Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu News Analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date 30th July 2023. These are the list of news articles for today's discussion. We will be covering 5 topics from infrastructure, a topic from governance, environment, and a topic from science. Alongside this, we will also be covering 2 previous year prelims questions at the end of the discussion. With this, straight away, let us move to our first article. First article, Turbulence hits Udan scheme, 50% routes grounded. See, the union government used to claim that it is building 74 airports in 7 years, which is more than the numbers that were built in the 7 decades since independence. But however, the news is that only 11 of these airports have actually been built from scratch, while 15 airports have fallen into disuse over this period. So from this context, let us know about the Udan scheme, which is mentioned in the article. Udan, that is Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagrik scheme, is a regional airport development program that was launched by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. In essence, it is a scheme for improving regional connectivity along underserved air routes. Know that it was designed with a 10-year implementation time frame, and it was based on the revision of National Civil Aviation Policy 2016. This plan is set to lower the cost and increase accessibility of air travel. And through this plan, small communities will be connected to major cities and air travel will become less expensive and cost effective. In the year 2017, the program's maiden flight departed from Shimla to Delhi, which was flagged off by the Prime Minister himself. After Udan completed its 5 years of success, the 5th round of Udan was announced by the Ministry of Civil Aviation following the completion of 4 successful rounds. This scheme got upgraded in order to improve connectivity to the nation's rural and regional areas and to attain last mile connectivity. Now let us see the features of Udan. There have been 5 phases of implementation of the scheme. In the first phase, that is in the Udan 1.0, 36 additional airports were opened as part of it, and 5 airline firms were given the right to operate 128 flight itineraries out of 70 airports. Under the Udan 2.0 program, the first helipad was included and 73 unserviced airports were reported. Then under Udan 3.0, number of modifications were made, including tourist routes, seaplane connections between water aerodromes, and Udan branded routes in the northeast. Then in the Udan 4.0, that is in the year 2020, 78 additional routes were authorized. The Lakshadweep Islands of Minicoy, Kavarati will also be connected by new routes during this phase. And then coming to the Udan 5.0, Category 2 and Category 3 are the main emphasis of this cycle of Udan. Secondly, there are no restrictions on the distance between the flight's origin and destination, and the prior stage length maximum of 600 km got lifted. Thirdly, the maximum stage length for the viability gap financing, which was previously set at 500 km, is now 600 km for both priority and non-priority sectors. And next is that no pre-planned routes would be provided. Only airline proposed networks and individual routes will be taken into consideration. Then after 2 months from issuing the LOA, the airlines would be expected to present a business plan. This business plan outlines their strategy for purchasing aircraft, availability of slots, crew, and other resources at the time of technical proposals. Also know that no airline will receive the same route more than once, whether it is inside the same network or one of the other networks. Then, to help expedite the operationalization of routes under the scheme, a list of airports that are currently operational or will be operating shortly has been included. Then now coming to the challenges part of Udan, some states are hesitant to give up the tax breaks on jet fuel, that is the ATF, which we are talking about, and states are hesitant to give other financial perks also. These financial perks and relaxation on ATF, that is the jet fuel, taxes on jet fuel, will be helpful in attracting alternate airlines to operate in such underdeveloped areas. But since states are hesitant to give up, it is said to be one of the challenge. Secondly, land acquisition is difficult because airports take up lot of space. The lack of available land and large financial requirements are two problems here. Then, due to financial unavailability of the models to connect remote places, policy is reluctant. Also, poor aircraft maintenance have also been a major obstacle to properly implement the program. Then, lack of reforms in the Airport Authority of India and DGCA laws and regulation is also one of the challenge. Then the fierce competition and high capital requirements of the aviation sector are well known. Due to the low profitability, this deters them from opening up business in locations with minimal passenger flow. And another matter of fact is that obtaining funding for viability gap funding is a significant difficulty. Finally, know that due to lower demand, a staggering majority of 300 routes have been impacted during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then, as a way forward, we can say airlines have carefully used the plan to their advantage in order to secure more slots at the Tier 1 airports, which are already overcrowded and have cheaper operating cost. In order to increase the Udan scheme's sustainability and efficiency, stakeholders should work together. This is one of the suggestion. Then secondly, to promote the well-ordered expansion of Indian aviation, it is essential to create a competitive and profitable regional aviation environment. So these are the 2 points which could be listed under the way forward. So that is all about the article. In this article, we saw about Udan from the prelims angle as well as the challenges associated with the scheme. Then we saw about the way forward. That is all about the article. Now let us move to the second article. Second topic, scientists' toughest experiment, sourcing quality products from government e-marketplace. The news is regarding the National Research Foundation Bill 2023. First, let us know about that. See, the Union Cabinet recently approved the introduction of National Research Foundation Bill 2023 in the Parliament. This bill establishes National Research Foundation that will seed, grow and promote research and development in the country. This will be done by the NRF by promoting a culture of research and innovation throughout India's universities, colleges, research institutions and in R&D laboratories. Another provision of the bill is that the NRF will be established at a total estimated cost of rupees 50,000 crore during the 5-year period of 2023 to 28. Know that the Department of Science and Technology will be the administrative department of NRF, which will be governed by a governing body. This governing body consists of eminent researchers and professionals across various disciplines. Since the scope of the NRF is wide-ranging and impacting all ministries, the Prime Minister himself will be the ex officio president of the board and the Union Minister of Science and Technology as well as the Union Minister of Education will be the ex officio vice president. Another provision which is criticized in this article is that for getting equipments and materials necessary for research, it is mandatory for the scientists to procure those resources from the government e-marketplace. Scientists say that government e-marketplace process is useful for mass manufactured products, but it does not help in the procurement of specialty chemicals, niche biological products and customized hardwares and softwares. This is the primary problem that is mentioned in the article. Now let us know about the other concerns related to the bill. First is the low funding provision. The Kasturirangan committee proposed that NRF should receive an annual grant of at least rupees 20,000 crores, which is nearly 0.1% of GDP. But however, as per the available information, the NRF is expected to receive around 10,000 crores for 5 years, totaling rupees 50,000 crores. Out of this, only a maximum of 14,000 crore is to be provided as a government grant, while the remaining 36,000 crores are expected to come from industries and private philanthropic sources. This means that NRF would receive an maximum annual funding of just 2,800 crore for the following 5 years, which is just 14% of the amount suggested by the Kasturirangan committee. Second factor is subsuming Science and Engineering Research Board. The SERB was set up as a statutory board within the Department of Science and Technology. Its objective was strategical planning, promoting and financially supporting international competitive research in the emerging field of science and tech. And this SERB has played a crucial role in developing a sustainable research ecosystem, and its budgetary allocations has substantially been increasing over the years. But however, since it is being subsumed with the National Research Foundation, there are concerns over whether the NRF would get the additional SERB's financial allocation or will it be removed. We don't know that. Now, let us see what can be the way forward. The new education policy places a strong emphasis on the necessity of a vibrant research environment. This is to tackle global issues and utilizing the technological advancements. Therefore, a significant financial support is needed for India to become a leader in this sector, ideally in line with the recommendations of Kasturirangan committee. Since we have mentioned about the government e-marketplace, let us know about that also in brief. See, government e-marketplace is an online marketplace that got set up in the year 2016. It is set up for the procurement of commonly used goods and services by the government ministries, departments and central public sector enterprises. Its main aim is to enhance transparency, efficiency and speed in public procurement. Know that the GEM portal is a completely paperless, cashless and system-driven e-marketplace that enables procurement of commonly used goods and services, and it is done through minimal human interface. Then know that GEM is a National Procurement Portal of India which functions under the Directorate General of Supplies and Disposals. This Directorate General of Supplies and Disposals comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Further, it provides the tool of e-bidding, reverse e-auction and demand aggregation to facilitate the government users achieve the best value for their money. So these are the provisions which are related to the government e-marketplace. So from this article, we saw about the National Research Foundation Bill in a comprehensive manner, the concerns related to it and the way forward of it. Then we also saw about the GEM portal in a brief way. So with this, let us close this article and move to the third topic. Third topic, India's tiger population goes up. Madhya Pradesh has the most big cats. The article reports that India's tiger population increased from 2,967 in 2018 to 3,682 tigers in the year 2022. And know that by the year 2022, the highest number of tigers were reported to be in the state of Madhya Pradesh and followed by Karnataka, Uttarakhand and Maharashtra. Another matter of fact is that India's tiger are largely concentrated in 53 dedicated tiger reserves. So these 53 dedicated tiger reserves are spread across approximately 75,000 square kilometers. That constitutes 2.3% of India's total land area. These reserves with the reserves with the most number of tigers were the Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, followed by Bandipur and Nagarhole, both in Karnataka. Now let us see the reasons that led to the increase of tiger population in the country. First is the conservation efforts. India has implemented various conservation efforts to protect tigers, including the establishment of protected areas, anti-poaching patrols, and community involvement. For example, Project Tiger was launched in the year 1973 to protect tigers and their habitats, and it has led to increase in tiger population in many areas. Then second factor is the habitat restoration. The restoration of tiger habitat has been a key factor in the population recovery. Here, efforts have been made to reduce human encroachment and restore natural habitats by reforestation and reducing deforestation. For instance, in the Sariska Tiger Reserve, where tigers were once completely wiped out, efforts have been made to restore the habitat and reintroduce tigers. The third factor is the strict laws against poaching. India has implemented strict laws against poaching and illegal trade of tiger parts. This has reduced the number of tigers being killed for their skin, bones and other body parts. Then the fourth factor is the prey base management. Managing the prey base for the tiger is important to ensure their survival. The increase in the prey population such as deer, wild boar has resulted in rise in tiger numbers. Efforts are being made to improve the prey base by managing their population and reducing hunting by humans. Then the final factor is about the reduced human-tiger conflict. Human-tiger conflict has been a significant threat to tiger population. Measures to reduce such conflicts such as building barriers, compensation for livestock losses, relocation of problematic tigers have helped to prevent the loss of tigers due to human-wildlife conflict. Now let us know what are the government initiatives that focused on improving the tiger population in India. First is the Project Tiger. The Project Tiger is a centrally sponsored scheme of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. This ministry provides funding support to tiger range states for in situ conservation of tigers in the designated tiger reserves. Then the second initiative is the National Tiger Conservation Authority. It is a statutory body under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. This authority got established under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. This institution was established for strengthening tiger conservation as per the powers and functions assigned to it under the said act. Know that it works closely with the state governments and other stakeholders to implement various measures for protecting the tiger and tiger reserves. Then the third initiative is the eco-sensitive zone. The government has declared several areas around the tiger reserves as eco-sensitive zones. These zones protect the biodiversity of these areas. The eco-sensitive zones act as some kind of shock absorbers to the protected areas by prohibiting, regulating and promoting activities around the protected areas. Then the another initiative is the Global Tiger Forum, which is the intergovernmental international body that was established in the year 1993, and it was established with members from willing countries that embark on global campaign to protect tiger. Know that the Global Tiger Forum has its headquarters located in New Delhi. Then the last initiative is the Global Tiger Initiative. This initiative was launched in the year 2008 as a global alliance of governments, international organization, civil society and private sector. The aim of it is to work together to save wild tigers from extinction. In the year 2013, the scope was broadened to include snow leopards as well. So because of such measures only, the tiger population in India is continuously increasing, which is a good sign of sustainable development in the country. So that is all about the article. Fourth topic, education in mother tongue will do justice to students, says Prime Minister. Recently, our Prime Minister pitched for education in mother tongue and also said that through the national education policy, the country had started shedding the inferiority complex that got generated over the years, thinking that the country's rich languages as backward in nature. Our Prime Minister spoke about this at an event that marks the 3rd anniversary of National Education Policy. So from this context, let us know about the NEP 2020. See, the National Education Policy is based on the recommendations of Kasturi Rangan and TSR Subramaniam committees. NEP 2020 lays emphasis on reforms in education at all levels from pre-primary to higher education. It aims to bring transformation to the education system of India in line with the contemporary needs. Now, if we take the major provisions of NEP, first let us see with respect to the school education. First point, universalization of education by 2030 through 100% gross enrollment ratio from pre-primary to secondary is the one of the objective. Then open schooling system for out of school children, that is for students who dropped out of schools will be given open schooling system. Then 5+3+3+4 curriculum system replacing the existing 10+2 systems. Fourth point is that teaching will be in the mother tongue up to class 5 with no imposition of any language. Now, if we take the higher education, broad-based, multidisciplinary, holistic undergraduate education will be provided with a provision of flexible curriculum, integration of vocational education, multiple entries and exit points with respective degrees, and also UG programs in regional languages. Then academic bank of credits to enable transfer of credits between institutions. Thirdly, Higher Education Commission of India will be established as an umbrella regulator except for legal and medical education. Then another point is that promotion of multilingualism in schools and colleges will be one of the objective under the National Education Policy. Then if we take other planned initiatives under the NEP, all institutions in the top 100 of NIRF, that is the National Institutional Ranking Framework, as well as those institutions that have A grade under the NAC certification will be allowed to participate in the credit transfer system. See, Academic Bank of Credit will keep record of academic credits of students, and it will not accept any credit course document directly from the students. Rather, only the higher education institutions will have to make deposits in the student's account. Thereby, this will help in credit verification, credit accumulation, as well as redemption and promotion of students. Then the second provision is the engineering in regional languages. The government will also announce the launch of engineering degrees in regional languages in about 14 small institutions. Then thirdly, the government will also announce the establishment of National Digital Education Architecture and National Education Technology Forum. Now, if we take the challenges associated with the NEP, currently India is grappling with huge learning gaps. This is because the needs of children are more personalized and cannot be addressed through online mode of education alone. With the extension of school closures and fear of infection during the COVID times, many children lost touch with understanding, reading comprehensions and speaking skills. Then the second factor is the digital divide, which is also the cause of education divide in the country. Today in India, over 90% of students do not have devices that allow them to access online learning. Thirdly, when the government is calling for greater autonomy, several universities continue to function without full-time heads and vice chancellors. For instance, 10 central universities, including Delhi University and JNU, remained without full-time heads for a long time. Fourthly, the NEP asks for higher priority to literacy and numeracy, but the government has been reducing the school education budget, and even the higher education has suffered from less budget allocation. As a conclusion, we can say, for the NEP to move forward, India needs a robust institutional mechanism and large-scale capacity building to create enthusiasm among the stakeholders. For that, every stakeholders at the state, district, block level has to have a form of kind of ownership and understand the concept of NEP. So that is all about the article. From this article, we saw about the NEP, the provisions of NEP, as well as the challenges associated with it. With this, let us close this topic and move to the fifth topic of the day. Fifth and the final topic, threat of dengue fever escalates globally. The news reports about the recent surge in dengue cases globally, and cases in new regions has been alarming and pose significant global health challenges. Also, the WHO forecasts the possibility of record level cases this year because of global warming and disease transmitting mosquitoes. From this context, let us know about dengue from exam point of view. According to WHO, that is the World Health Organization, dengue is a vector-borne disease transmitted by the bite of an infected female Aedes mosquito. Okay. Then know that the mosquito becomes infected when it feeds on a blood of a person who is already infected with the dengue virus. After about 1 week, the mosquito can then transmit the virus by biting a healthy person. And know that the dengue virus comprises 4 distinct serotypes. They are dengue virus 1, 2, 3 and 4, which belongs to the genus Flavivirus. The most case of dengue occur in the tropical areas of world, including Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, southern China and Taiwan, among others. Another fact is that dengue is a notifiable disease, but there has to be a case which is required to be notified only after confirmatory test has been done in the lab. Know that there is no vaccine or specific medications for dengue fever as of now, and so the patients should seek medical advice, take rest, and drink plenty of fluids to cure it. If you want to know the additional information, see, a notifiable disease is any disease that is required by law to be reported to the government authorities. By this, it will allow the authorities to gather information in order to monitor the disease and provide early warning of possible outbreaks. Secondly, the process will also help the government to keep track and formulate a plan for elimination and control. Know that center has notified several diseases such as cholera, leprosy, tuberculosis, AIDS as notified diseases. Some measures to prevent the spread of dengue could be like, first is disease surveillance, where effective surveillance of dengue cases is essential to detect outbreaks that is required to initiate any timely and effective control measures. Then secondly, we can strengthen the healthcare system. See, dengue mortality can be reduced by implementing early case detection. For that, health services must be strengthened, and training health personnel at all levels of the health system is important. Then third factor could be taken into consideration is the effective planning. And effective planning should be prepared on how to tackle any outbreak. And fourthly, effective vector control measures should be taken. Effective vector control measures are critical to prevent dengue outbreaks. Preventive and vector control interventions like awareness campaigns, cleanliness drives, etc. is needed with an aim to reduce dengue transmission. Then, dengue prevention and control needs an effective intersectoral approach. That is, it requires the coordination between Ministry of Health and other relevant ministries, government departments. Even cooperation from private sector and NGOs are required. As said earlier, dengue is endemic to India. An integrated approach is needed to tackle the epidemic. So various casual factors must be controlled. Apart from this, Swachh Bharat Mission is an important intervention to prevent dengue and must be used to raise awareness about the dengue. Without collaborative effort, fighting dengue epidemic is not easy. So this can be taken as a conclusion. So that is all about the article. So from this article, we saw about the dengue from prelims angle and the measures to prevent the spread of dengue. So with this, let us close this article and move to the previous year prelims question discussion. Now coming to the previous year prelims questions, these two questions that we are going to discuss now has appeared in the year 2019. So consider the first question. The service area approach was implemented under the purview of, the options given are option A, Integrated Rural Development Program, option B, Lead Bank Scheme, option C, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, option D, National Skill Development Mission. See, the answer for this question is option B, Lead Bank Scheme. The service area approach is an improved method of lead bank scheme where the service area approach aims to deploy bank credit for rural development. Under the service area approach, each bank branch in rural and semi-urban areas were designated to serve around 15 to 25 villages, and that designated bank branch is responsible for meeting the needs of bank credit of its service area. So the primary objective of this service area approach was to increase productive lending and cause effective linkages between bank credit, productivity, and increase in income level of the people. So in short, we can say service area approach under lead bank scheme was meant to achieve financial inclusion. So the answer for this question is option B, lead bank scheme. Now coming to the second question, consider the following statements. Statement 1. As per the law, the compensatory afforestation fund management and planning authority exist at both national and state levels. Statement 2. People's participation is mandatory in the compensatory afforestation programs carried out under the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act of 2016. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The options given are option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, option D, neither 1 nor 2. See, the first statement is a correct statement. As per the law, the CAMPA fund, which is the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority exist at both national and state levels. So this is the correct statement. But the second statement says people's participation is mandatory in the compensatory afforestation program. No, this is wrong because it is only voluntary. So it does not provide for mandatory people participation in compensatory afforestation program. So the answer for this question is option A, one only. Let us wind up the discussion here. If you like the method of teaching and if you are able to understand the concepts well, please give a like, share, comment and subscribe to ForumIAS Academy in various social media platforms for further updates. Thank you.